Another outstanding woman is about to join us on stage.
She is the CEO of the Women's Forum for the Economy and Society, the world's leading platform to promote women's voices and vision.
She herself is a key driver of the topic for women's economic improvement and economic development by strengthening the female presence in the economy and society on European level in her home country, France.
She is also the French Foreign Trade Advisor and a member of the Arab International Women's Forum. She is also a member of the Board of Advisors for OECD and the BSR's Business for Inclusive Growth.
After the G7 2019, under the French presidency, Chiara Corazza was missioned by the French government to provide a national action plan to foster the attractiveness of STEM for girls and women.
So please, let us welcome on stage
Chiara Corazza.
Good morning. A heartfelt thank you to Sasha and to the Commissioner, because I'm so delighted to be here. You cannot imagine how happy I am, also because I'm discovering the reason why Bulgaria has such outstanding women all around the world. My friend Irina Bukova, my friend Kristina Georgieva, Maria Gabriel. I mean, we feel the energy of this country and how you can expand. And it's maybe also because there's also this motivation to do something for purpose. Then I'm really double happy to be there. And I wanted to also inform you that Commissioner Maria Gabriel, and you understand why, has been chosen 1 month ago by Republica among the 10 women who are changing the world. Then you see in the Recovery how we can change this world. We are living in this challenging, disrupted world, and we are collective responsibility to take the opportunity, I say to take the opportunity of the COVID crisis, that it's not only a health crisis, but it's a way to reshape the world, that the women be fully associated with men, to be sure that we can really create a more inclusive world. And when I say fully associated, that means that we need to have the tools as men, the expertise, the skills, the assets, to be there where we can transform the world. And at the end of the day, to have the tools to transform the world means to have the skills in STEM. Because it was not the case 30, 40 years ago, but in the 10 years that just passed by, we saw that if we are able to code, we will have an AI that it's done for man by man. All very well intentioned, of course, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the diversity behind those who design the algorithm, we are creating a dangerous world. Same in each field, in each of the world. Why we have only 5% of women CEOs? Because most of the CEOs are engineers. Because we need technical competences, not only digital, but in each field. Why we are living in cities where we don't feel at ease? Because the cities are designed, 60% of people live in the cities. Who is designing the cities? Men. Who are designing the infrastructure? Men. They're very well intentioned again, but we have to take each talent, each competence, each added value. I have the privilege to lead the Women's Forum for the Economy and Society, a wonderful, powerful platform that highlights not only the vision and the voices of women, but who acts, who does, who launch initiatives, and not only in gender issue, but on issues that touch all of us, touch humanity, climate change, AI, STEM, business, of course, access to capital, and health. Those are the main topics, because on those main topics for us, it's where we are most impacted, most victims. And as Sasha say, we don't have victims. It's not because we are 80% of the refugees in climate change that we don't have to be in the table of negotiation and be there. We will decide which kind of society and sustainability we want for our children and for ourselves. And the issue that you rose today, it's the main one. I mean, it's the one that's the dearest to my heart, because it's the start and the beginning. If we want to have more women involved in climate change, for instance, we have to convince them, whether 5-year-olds, that if they want to work for purpose and they won't be contributing to this fight to save the planet, they have to learn scientific, have a scientific education. Because at the end of the day, when the people will hire people in energetic transition, they will look for people who has these competences. Then this is also mean to attract girls and to convince girls all life long that they can be useful, because as you know, we did some surveys in the Women's Forum, but it's worldwide known. 72% of girls from 10 to 15 years old want to make something useful with a social positive impact for the society. Before my time, they wanted to be nurse or mistress. Now they have to be willing to become those who can transform the world. This is the issue. But how to do it? As Maria Gabriel said, the starting, for us, the starting, it's really from 5 years old until the boards, from school to the boardroom. Because again, if we want to be leaders in the board, we have to be there where we take the decision. If we are only in communication or human resources, that are a very important field, but we are not those who does the strategy, the industrial strategy of the group. We can be in the board, we can be 45% as we are in France in the board, but the decision will not be taken by us. And the world needs our leadership, because otherwise we go nowhere. And starting from school, 12 years, 18 years, and all the time, I'm very, very convinced that it's also an opportunity, as jobs are in the numeric, are in the STEM fields, that at 40, 50 years, a woman can have a second chance if she gets the right skills. Skilling, upskilling, cross-skilling. Why we should be out of the market because when we were 10 years old, we didn't decide to be engineer. It's not admissible, and we can. There's a lot of possibility to enter in where the market needs us with the new skilling. And this is something very dear to us, and we're really working a lot on that. At the Women's Forum, what we do, we created a cross-industry system to search for solution. We call them the daring circle. Daring because we dare to do something that has not been done before. And this mix of business, of academic, of institutional, and of NGOs, startup, and so on, give the result to say we now launch initiatives. And one, I just will talk about this one because we're working with Maria Gabriel on that. It's the STEM Key program. It's a program just for Europe. We decided to start in Europe, but normally the Women's Forum, it's global, but for that specific program, we decided to do it in Europe. And it's on a basis of a voluntary basis. We create STEM sisters. STEM sisters are people as you, competent, successful, willing to share what they do, what they succeed or not, because it could be also sharing what didn't work. And they are so generous that they share with young girls from 12 to 16 years what is success like, how they can be convinced to choose the right career for them and to be active in the society. And these STEM sisters do videos, but also exchange on a platform. And then we have another special program in frame of the STEM Key program that we do with Inspiring Girl, who is an American NGO. We go in schools, and again, we give advice to people to come in the STEM. Because, you know, the fact and figures, it's a question of justice, a question of equity, but it's also a question of performance. Many numbers have been given. I will just give one. 28 trillion can be added at the GDP worldwide in the next 5 years with more gender equality. And 240 million can be created from now to 2025 only with more gender equality. Then you see, I mean, it's really collective responsibility. What I would like is really to propose to work together. You do an incredible job. We work in a global basis, but only if we work together we can. We can really be there where we deserve to be, and especially again, be there where we can really be sure that the big pie that will be distributed now in the after the COVID crisis, I call it a bit like the Plan Marshall for Europe. Plan Marshall for Europe has been not only reconstructing Europe, but giving dignity again. And reducing injustice. What we want is a recovery plan that makes sure not only that we have our part of the pie, but we design the pie, that we design the plan, because we know what the society needs as well as men. Then it's a really change of mindset to be sure that we are fully associated, again I insist on that, in each decision that they are taken by political, by business, and so on and so forth. And next week, I'm sending a letter to all the president and head of state of the G7 countries, because we don't know when the G7 summit will take place. It should be placed in June, and for the moment, we don't know if and when. But we have a recommendation, very strong recommendation, the voice of women and men, to create this more inclusive word that we will send to the head of state and government, to the Minister of Finance and Economy, to the Minister of Health, and of course of the Minister of Gender Equality of the G7 countries, and that there's an action plan behind that can be implemented. And I'm sure, I'm very optimistic, I'm sure that people will listen to what the health of the planet has to say to create this more inclusive word. And just to give an example of what we wanted to say before the role model, before the woman who dared and who did, I would, with the permission of Sasha, invite the ambassador to come on the floor. No? No more possible?
I really regret very much, but promise to everybody that we'll have a special session with the French ambassador in Bulgaria, because she's such an amazing lady. I discovered only yesterday, but we are not having time.
Then I just say goodbye to everybody. Good luck in what you're doing. Fight for what we believe it's really important, and stay connected with the Women's Forum. You can see on the website. We will have a virtual one where you're all invited in November. And good luck for all the projects that you carry on. Thank you.